The NBA might be one of the biggest sports on the planet right now, but there are actually some players who don't sit right with others. Every sport has players who come across as controversial or have had some questionable moments in the past. Though they aren't spoken about all the time, people want to know about them. So what controversial moments have happened in the NBA? Well, stay tuned for today's video, as we're going to discuss the most controversial NBA players of all time and their moments. First up, we have Dennis Rodman. Though he is a Hall of Fame player, he is best known for how crazy he can be and how that reflects upon his own personal style. Rodman's dressing style, behavior, and even wearing makeup have all caused stirs in the NBA community and the sport in general. In one of his most controversial and craziest moments, he went onto the court dressed up in a wedding dress. Another example is when he would change his hair color almost every day, and when he was on the court, even fighting with his own teammates and referees. Nothing this man did helped his image, including his love for tattoos and piercings. Though he did help lead 2 different teams to earn many titles, people just don't remember that about Rodman. They remember him for his crazy attitude and rebellious nature on and off the court. What do you remember about Dennis Rodman? Let us know down in the comments section below. Next, we have Kobe Bryant. Before we get into anything about Kobe Bryant, we must say that he is one of the most legendary NBA players in existence and should be remembered for that. His death was tragic, and nothing we say here will detract from his ongoing legacy from the NBA. Everything here is just speculation and nothing was confirmed. Kobe is without a doubt one of the most well-known NBA players of all time, and for many reasons. One being his dedication to the sport itself and everything around it, and another being the power held while he was on the court. Though he had all this fame, things began to crash down in 2003 when a sexual assault case was filed against him. The case itself was eventually dropped because of a lack of evidence, but people never forgot about it. They believed the victim wanted to cancel Bryant all the way back then, but that's not it. He's also known for his famous feud with fellow player Shaquille O'Neal. Bryant has set a precedent for chasing many other star players out of LA, according to the Sportster, including Dwight Howard, Pau Gasol, and various coaches. Though he is a controversial star on this list, he is a legend of the game. He will be missed. And now we have Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley is another NBA star that deserves to be on this list. Just like the others we've spoken about already, he was a legend and someone that fans should remember for his accomplishments as well as his controversial moments. As part of the Dream Team, Charles Barkley was in the spotlight for quite some time. Even though he was a great player, fans and teammates alike were not a fan of his behavior. He got into a fight with another player and even spit on a young girl who was watching a game. For 8 straight years, the tension between Barkley and fans, coaches, and the media only grew. After leaving the team in 1992, he went on to do a controversial Nike commercial, adding fuel to the fire. Since his basketball days, however, he has toned down his behavior and has become a well-known commentator. What do you think about Barkley? Let us know down in the comments below. Next is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem started off as a good player for the NBA. Nothing too special, but someone worth having around at the time. However, wherever this man went, controversy would follow, and it wasn't a great image for him. As soon as Kareem started to play for the NBA, the media began to scrutinize him because of his alma mater, as he made ill comments about it. According to Sporting News, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's greatness and longevity tempered the perception of him, but he was a controversial player from the outset. This NBA player also caught flack for his connections to certain Muslim leaders, and more recently, his outspokenness on certain controversial topics. This just shows that even if you are a great player who has a bright future, some controversial moments and comments can really create a character of yourself that you didn't want out there. And our final controversial NBA player is Magic Johnson. You didn't think that we would make a list of the most controversial NBA players and miss Magic Johnson, did you? Clearly, he takes the cake for the most controversial NBA player of all time. But why exactly? Well, Johnson is still one of the most controversial players the NBA has ever had, but not because of what you might think. Magic had many run-ins with the law and some truly bad behavior, but this isn't why he's the most controversial on the list. He dominated the courts for about 12 years, and then in 1991, he made a statement that changed his life forever. He announced that he was HIV positive, and the timing couldn't have been worse. Because of the AIDS panic in the 80s, discrimination was rampant. A year later, he was asked to join the Dream Team, but canceled because other players were fearful of his diagnosis. It's crazy how it all went down, and it is really sad at the same time. What did you think about this one? Let us know down in the comments section below. Though we haven't covered every controversial player in the game, we covered some of the biggest. Let us know what other players we should have commented on. And now some other NBA news. And finally, we have Kyrie Irving calls the booing Boston crowd like the scorned girlfriend. In his most recent game, literally every move that Kyrie Irving made was met with the entire crowd booing his existence. They were really loud and obnoxious for everyone else in the stadium that night. Sadly, the Brooklyn Nets point guard doesn't even expect it to change over the next few games. I know it's going to be like that for the rest of my career coming in here, Irving told reporters after the 126-120 loss to the Boston Celtics. It's like the scorned girlfriend who wants an explanation on why I left, but is still hoping for a text back. I'm just like, it's fun while it lasts. I think that's the relationship that makes it fun. The entire crowd managed to boo Irving during the player introductions, and every time he even touched the ball. While the match had about 30 seconds remaining in the fourth, the crowd began yelling "Kyrie sucks" during Celtics free throws. Jason Tatum attempted to quiet them all down, and even the television cameras caught a sneaky shot of Irving shaking his head and smiling at them. Clearly he hates what's going on, but knows that it can't be stopped that easily. He just needs to play on and ignore what they're saying to him. This also happened to be Kyrie Irving's first game back since about mid-January, and his first Boston game since last year's playoffs. This was also where he was hit by a rogue water bottle after the Nets won in Game 4. What do you think about this? Let us know in the comments down below. And that's the end for today's video. The NBA always has some interesting stories going on, but only at certain parts of the week. Because of how the games correlate to the days of the week, news only seems to release on the weekend or the beginning of the week. Therefore, there aren't that many relevant stories at one time. However, the stories that do shine through are incredible and really show the dedication these players have for the sport, from putting up with booing crowds to constant teammate changes which can make the game awkward. These players have to put up with a lot, especially with the ongoing changes to the sport. The history of the NBA seems to be a rocky one. We always see comments about the best players in the game, but everyone can forget about some of the bad things that they have or may have done in the past. These moments shouldn't necessarily define a player, but the people should be educated on it all. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. The NBA is going to have another tough year ahead, so hopefully things will go well and no other controversies will happen. So what do you think about the NBA as a whole right now? Is it doing very well, especially compared to some of the large sports right now like UFC? Hopefully you enjoyed this latest video. If you did, please let us know down in the comment section below. It'd be very helpful. Make sure to like the video, comment down below, and of course subscribe to the channel with the notification bell rung. Thank you for watching today's video. Bye.